I am back, obviously, right? That's the most obvious thing is that I'm back and I'm here and I'm doing another Mythlab, right? Although I don't think I updated the right title. I think this was episode 28. And I really feel like the show is really coming into its own at this point, right? Even though not a lot of people are watching this thing. But today I want to talk about something that we are watching a lot of, right? And this is shark movies. And I know it sounds funny to have a whole topic dedicated to sharks, but here's the thing. As a culture, we be watching shark movies. Like, this is a real phenomenon in America that we love shark movies. Not the rest of the world doesn't watch shark movies the way that we watch shark movies, but trust me, we be watching shark movies, right? Like, this is an undeniable fact about Americans that we be watching shark movies. What's going on with my sound here? Okay. So knowing that we be watching shark movies to the degree that we do, I wanted to kind of talk about obviously a new shark movie that I just watched last night, and this is a wonderful shark movie that's called Thresher, and I'm going to talk about that in a bit. But I'm going to talk a little bit more about our overall shark culture, like what shark culture actually is. Right? Let me get this thing going here and make sure our overall and what I've come to find out. Okay, we watch we watch so many shark movies that even I'm surprised by it. And I'm going to tell you, I probably watched most of these shark movies. Now, the thing about it is, shark movie, first of all, shark mythology goes all around the world. Like, this is just a new form of mythology. When I talk about mythology changing and mythology being relative to like history or, contextual with time, that's what I mean. This is what I'm talking about. And nothing fits this better than our with shark movies, right? Because it wasn't that long ago that we weren't really talking about shark movies, right? We were talking about other stuff. We had different types of sci-fi animals, right? And that's the thing with shark movies is kind of shark movies are our Godzilla, right? Like Japanese culture, their dominant monster is Godzilla. If you go into Europe, like we say European mythology or European movies, they are the kings of vampire movies, even more than us. I know we think that we got the whole Monty in terms of Dracula movies, but no, Europe like kills us in Dracula movies from a wide margin, right? And I'll show some. I'll talk about that probably in a separate video. But like as far as shark movies, like nobody makes shark movies like us. It's ridiculous. Now shark mythology runs in other cultures. Okay, so this is the part. And I'm telling you guys, this is us as a form of modern mythology. This is what I'm telling you. This is what modern mythology looks like. Cultures in a couple of hundred years are going to talk about Jaws as this mythical creature, right? Man, you couldn't even blow him up. Think about how hard it was to even kill Jaws, right? So it was no joke, and we know this, right? We know this about Jaws. And Jaws is like, yeah, first Jaws be all over the place, man. Like Jaws be all over the place, okay? And clearly, the myth of him made it really scary to get in the water. He changed something within us as far as getting in the water. And we're going to talk about what we lost by what we gained with this movie. Like, we gained an epic movie that I love watching, but we lost something, which was safety and getting in the water, right? This is what he represented. This is the unknown waters telling us again, like, yeah, if you want to, this is what makes the risk of it. This is an important cultural thing, and I'm going to explain to you guys why, okay, in a minute. But I want to talk about how we got here with shark mythology, with like shark movies just being on deck all the time. And the main way that we got here is we're kind of mimicking some mythology, but not our own. In other countries, we've seen like island nations obviously have big shark mythologies. Hawaii has big shark mythologies. Polynesian traditions have big shark mythology. They have some shark gods. I think Nanawe is fake, but I think he's supposed to be based on something like this. In Fiji, you had Daku Waka, which is a powerful deity of fishermen and sea travelers who is sometimes combative but also very guardian-like. In Hawaii, you had Kama Ho'olili, who is a shark that associated with navigation and protection of voyagers. And then there's various. Japan, you had sharks that were less central than like the Polynesian, but sea creatures in general carried great spiritual force and spiritual cultures. In Australia, where look, they be having sharks out there, right? Australia knows more about sharks, man, I think, than almost anybody. And so they have lots of groups being like dream stories that are tied to land formations or law, all these things around sharks. And then Africa and Afro-Atlantic visions, it wasn't worship, but it was a broader, more like respect. Because these are like, they were navigating the seas, which is the only time you would have to be worried about sharks, right? You're navigating the seas. And sharks are apex predators, so they respected the sharks in the nature sense. So we get that, apex predator. They're massively mysterious, right? They're efficient. They look ancient. They haven't evolved since they got that form. They're like, okay, this is it right here. Let's go after it, right? So that's what they did. So how quickly they appear, how they manifest. These are all the things that we saw in all these cultures. American movies, we took it someplace else though, man. We really, really took it someplace else. I'm not sure why we would take it into the streams that we did take it, because it's different. Like, we have always kind of demonized the shark, right? And it's true. Like, the shark is always the bad guy for the most part. Like, I have to be honest. Like, a lot of times when I'm watching these movies, I am rooting for the shark. I'm kind of rooting for the shark. Like, the shark gave us the moment when he ate Samuel L. Jackson. The shark did that. That was a shark performance. And without the shark doing that, it wouldn't be the same movie. So at the end of the movie, I want the shark to be neutralized as a threat. I want that to happen. But during the course of the movie, on an individual transactional per person basis, most of the time I'm rooting for the shark, because that's going to bring us the most joy, is when that shark gets to do it. So the shark is never a hero, despite being tied to, like, in other cultural representations, that the shark is, something to be revered. Like that's exactly what it is. So when we talk about sharks, like, why in American culture, like, Americans love sharks, like, now, since the biggie, which was Jaws, right? The biggie was Jaws. This is 1975. Like, Jaws comes in, right? Just a few years after my birth, right? So I was born, man. Me and shark mythology movies were born into each other, man. When I first got on the scene, like, by the time I could really hear and understand, man, there was a shark movie around. Like, and it was probably one of the biggest movies of that year, 1975. I'm sure it was, like, a blockbuster film. So I don't know, like, we didn't have VCRs back in this day. You know what I'm saying? This is way back in the Flintstone days, right? Way back in the Flintstone days. We had 8 tracks. We did not have VCRs. That would be years later, right? Like, so 1975, I'm assuming it was probably like 10 years later, 82, maybe 81, 82. Well, I guess we would be having VCRs. Like, they weren't household until probably like 81, 82. I think that's when it really started hitting. Maybe like 80 or something like that, right? So we had a little bit of gap. But obviously by the time I kind of like manifested, we're watching, like, I've been seeing Jaws on TV every year, damn near since, right? Like, TNT, it's a holiday movie now for some reason. So Jaws, man, like, this reset our culture about sharks. Like, and no BS to this. Before there was Jaws, there wasn't anything like Jaws. Jaws didn't look at something else and say, wow, I want to be like that. Jaws was like, yeah, I'm about to be Jaws. And everything fell in line, right? The shark became the boogeyman. Like, this is the beach boogeyman. He turned beaches, which are tranquil places, into, like, suspense zones. He created a blockbuster after blockbuster off of this model. And this became something embedded in popular culture. So this is popular culture kind of speaking, like, and getting its turn and representing through mythology, right? And then culturally, America, we got a lot of beaches, right? We got Atlantic beaches, we have Pacific beaches, we have beaches on both sides of it. We have the Gulf beaches, we have surf culture in California, we have Hawaiian culture, that's us now too. Sorry, Hawaii. I'm sorry, but you're part of us now, and I'm sorry about that. I know y'all ain't happy about it. But we also have, just surf culture all over America. We do have a lot of that culture. Previously, when we wanted to scare you in a movie, we would do, like, giant ants or killer bees, which still scare the Jesus out of me. Like, wasp movies, like, please don't do a wasp movie. I wouldn't even go see that, man. But alligators, piranhas, right? I love piranha movies. Where are all the piranha movies at? Snakes. And then we started putting sharks inside of tornadoes. Sharks are the only thing that actually can go inside of a tornado and make sense. Maybe a piranha tornado would make sense as well. And I would probably also watch a piranha tornado, just so you guys, if any of you Hollywood execs are listening, we would also do a piranha tornado movie. So sharks fit in. They're primal, they're sleek, right? They're fearsome. They're like, I mean, like, like all the time, man. Like, they stay about it, man. They're reliable for that. They're going to do this most of the time. I've never seen a shark outing where it didn't happen, okay? That's all I'm going to say. We didn't at least try to bite somebody, okay? Like, you be watching those, or I watch them, those, those undersea kind of documentaries where the guy's like in the cage, right? And the sharks are kind of swimming by. The sharks are always trying to beat him. If that cage wasn't there, they would be biting your ass. So every time you see a shark, if he sees you, they're going to try to bite you. Like, that's just what it is. So they symbolize all this. It's this fear, like, because it comes from the bottom, we can't see it. And the way they did it with Jaws, they mixed in like the visual, like the audio, where now it has a whole identity. That itself, like a shark fin sticking out of the water, has its own theme in my head now, right? Like, it gets after it. And this is a product, again, like my generation, bam, like, and this is what boomers are putting out. These are all boomers who made this movie. And one thing I got to tell you about boomers, you guys did a good job with shark movies. It stuck with us. And they're relatively easy to produce. Like, you put a shark fin in the water, you pretty much ready to go. You can simulate like blood and someone thrashing. They figured out a way to look at it. And from a mythology angle, this is where sharks kind of became the demons, right? Like, sharks are always the bad guy. They are 100%. There's not one time we really root for the shark. And if you are rooting for the shark, man, you're just a savage and you probably need to seek some help. But so this is our long history with sharks, and I wanted to kind of dig into it a little bit, right? So this is where we're going with sharks. Sharks have dominated in American culture since 1975. From 75 to 89, we had 3 Jaws sequels and some imitators, so roughly 15 to 30 U.S. titles in 1975 to 1989. The 90s, we got the cable boom, so you get another 20 or 40. Sci-Fi Channel kicks in, you get another 50 added to that. The 2010s, you had Sharknado and all that, and 2020s, like, it's still just turning on. Like, it's really just, it's cranking. The shark industry of shark movies is cranking. And I have to say that I love it, right? And I'm going to talk, like, you guys are like, why is he going on about this shark movie? I am going to get to the specific movie that I talked about, but I want to kind of set the table for how we're talking about sharks, because I'm not going to lie to you guys. From 1975 to 1920 to right now, we've done somewhere in the range of like 400 shark movies, right? 400 shark movies. You give or take, that number can bounce all the way down to like a rough 2s, but there's a lot of movies about sharks. They kind of owning it. When we add all the other like derivatives, like there's a lot of shark movies. You know how many Jesus movies are made during that same period of time? On a big scale, it might be 80. It might be 80. Possibly 400 for the sharks, probably 80 for Jesus. Total in the same period of time. Not that that says anything about religion, but culturally, it does kind of identify what we're talking about. And mythology say a lot about us. The stories that we put out say a lot about who we are. And we're saying that, yeah, we talk about sharks a whole lot more than we talk about Jesus. And I'm not saying that we should be talking about Jesus or that we should be talking about sharks. I'm simply saying that that's what it is, right? And this is how we see how powerful sharks are. So shark movies, they just bring it. They're easy. They're repeatable. We know what the mechanisms are. We know what they should sound like. And this is what drives our culture, what we fund, what we do remakes about, what fears us, the jokes that land. So, for shark symbolism is all about sacrifice. You get chances to redeem yourself. It's about appetite. It's about sudden death. It's about nature's dominance. The urge to panic that you may have when you see a shark fin. All that stuff, man. All that stuff is wrapped up in sharks, and it says something about us. Like, when we were afraid of like giant ants, I feel like that was more about like radiation and like tampering with nature. I think sharks is just something that really hits because we've all been in the water. And it's just like, it changed everything with the beach attacks and just how we move. So sharks deeply rooted in our culture. And now I'm going to talk a little bit about this flick here, man, that I saw. And this was a good one, man. This is my newest addition into the shark flicks. And this movie, it's called, let me get the flick up here. Oh, come on. You're not gonna do that for me? Let's see. Oh, this sucks. I don't know why my images aren't showing up. Oh man, I think this thing's kind of stuck. But whatever. Okay, here's the deal. This movie Thrash, which you can find this online. It's a great flick, and it basically takes the shark mythology to another level. because this is like a southern city, like on the ocean coast, and the levees break, right? So instantly, that's it, right? Thrash. Took you long enough, right? So this is the flick right here, Thrash. And essentially what happens is the levees break and all this water floods in, and here come the sharks. So it combines some real fear with, like some real life stuff with this fantasy about sharks now swimming around your house and your streets in the neighborhood. But it was a really good movie, and it really shows like how much we fear the shark and its ability just to go anywhere. If there's water there, we kind of believe that the shark can do it. So I wanted to kind of break this out. I give this movie a high thumbs up. Like, it's really, really good on my list right now. If you're into shark movies, definitely check this out, man. I'll try to drop a link to it, but I'm not sure where I watched it at last night. But I don't know what streaming it was on. But look for the movie Thrash. But I'll get back to talking about sharks at another time. I'm going to kind of wrap this one up right here. But definitely thanks you for stopping in. Hit that like and subscribe. I'll be back talking about more shark stuff later.